If you've never touched Canva, good, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to use it. No design degree, no endless tutorial, just one crash course that gets you from confused to confident step by step. So let's not waste time, let's get straight into Canva.
All right, so this is Canva's homepage, and here in Canva, you have many ways to start a new design. You can start by searching a template for something you need for a specific design you want, and you can also start from scratch from a blank page by clicking on one of the design types here in the menu in Canva's homepage. So let's go over all the design types Canva has to offer to us. So Instagram story, that's a blank design with a ratio of 1080 on 1920, and it will fit Instagram story. The reason it's here is because I use it a lot and it suggests things that I use a lot right here. Maybe you will see something different on your homepage. So, just so you know, it offers what you usually use. All right, the rest will be the same at your homepage as mine. And the first one is Canva Sheet. So let me just go over them very quickly so you will understand which one does what and how you can use it. So Canva Sheets is basically the spreadsheet of Canva. It works exactly like a normal spreadsheet, and you can use it for numbers or for planning. I have a video that focus only on Canva Sheets, so if you want to learn everything about it, you should watch it. But just so you know, this is Canva Sheet. All right, I will go back to the homepage. Canva Doc is exactly like a document in Google Docs or Microsoft Word. So it's basically a doc with design options. You can add images to here and really design your doc. It works different than other design types in Canva. The menus are different here and it works different. So if you want to learn how to use it, you should see a specific video about Canva docs. All right. Next one is whiteboard. Whiteboard is where you can do brainstorming, plan with your team. You have a lot of different templates. By the way, to each kind of Canva design, there are lots of templates that you can choose from, and start with something. Don't start with just a blank page. You can start with a template and make your changes. So whiteboard, a design with infinite space. You can see I can move around and it's endless. It's great for brainstorming with theme or alone and planning things because you have just infinite space and a lot of free space to put your ideas. I also have a specific video about whiteboards if you want to learn everything about it. I will put the link on the screen and also in the video description so you can learn more. All right, I will be back to the homepage, and next design type is a presentation. So that's pretty obvious. That's a normal Canva design for presentations. It will be 1920px on 1080. You can see it here. If you click on file, you will see that this is the ratio of this page, and here you can design different presentations. All right, next app is social media. So here, if I will click on social media, I won't get to a new blank design. What I will see is a menu of different kind of ratios for different kind of posts I can create for social media. For example, a LinkedIn post, Instagram post. I can create an Instagram reel cover, so it will be the same ratio as Instagram story. It can be WhatsApp status or Instagram reel. You will see a lot of different options to create for social media. and you can choose one from here. All right. Photo editor is where you can make some specific changes in the photo editor of Canva without opening a new design. So let me just pick randomly this photo of mine. And let's say I want to make some changes here. I can crop the image like this. If I want to make it a square, I can hit done. I can adjust the colors of this image, as you can see, like this. And I can also use the different Magic Studio features, which are pro features. So if you use the free version of Canva, you won't be able to use them. But if you will have a pro in the future, just so you know, you can do some cool tricks with your photos. But we are in a beginner video, so I won't get too much into that. So just so you know, it's here. And you can also apply filters to your image like this. You can control the intensity of each filter, and you can apply different effects to your image. So that's the photo editor. It's just for editing a specific image without opening a new design. So if you want to save it, you can hit save and it will open a new design with the image inside Canva, or you can create a design with this image you just edited, or if you just want it with the edits, you can download it to your computer and use it however you like. All right. Last thing here is click on compare if you want to see the original version of your image. So if I will hold it, I will see the original image, and when I will release, I will see my changes. All right, I will hit cancel, and let's see this one. This one is video. It will open also a menu of different ratios of designs to create video in. You can create an Instagram story again. You can create video in landscape, so it will be the same size as a presentation. You can create a mobile video, which will be the same size as Instagram story, and lots of different options you can create. And it will also show you different kind of templates of videos you can create in Canva. And the thing is, when I click, for example, on Instagram Reel, I will have the same ratio as Instagram Story, but this time I will see it in the video editor of Canva. Let me just add a template just to show you. And here I will see it on this timeline. I can add more images to the timeline, and I can play with the length of each element right here and do a lot of video stuff here in the video editor design. All right, so two last things here is print and website. So print is basically same as a regular design, but Canva lets you print stuff on real life things. So you can create a design of a t-shirt or a photo book, for example, and these designs will be good for if you want to print something. It will create the right ratio of the design. You can design freely, and then you can even print your design with Canva if you want. All right. And last thing here is website. Website is a design type that works a bit different than the regular designs. You will see that you have sections, not page. If you click on add section, it will add another page, but as you can see, it's like continuing the first page. So you add different sections for your website. And at the end, you can also click on publish website up here, which you won't see in other design types, only here. And you can publish your website. I also have a specific video about websites, but since we are in a video for beginners, I won't get into that in this video. So just so you know, it exists here in Canva. You can create websites. All right, let me just exit all these design types. And let's start from a template to start showing you how to work with Canva. All right, so after I make sure the templates option is clicked, I can search for whatever I want. I can search for a design type, or I can search for a topic I want templates to. So let me search for cafe. I really like coffee, and let's see what are the options Canva has. I will click enter, and then I will see different kinds of templates related to coffee. So I can also just filter by a design type if I want. So let's say I want again an Instagram story, then I will see only templates that relate to coffee and that are in an Instagram story ratio. All right, so let's say I really like this one. So I will click on it, then I will see it in full screen. I can see that it also already animated. So if you want, you can also create stories that are animated. We will get into that later in this video, but for now, I can just hover the design and I will see the animations, and I can see down here more templates related to this one I chose, so I can keep on browsing and search for the perfect template. But for this example, I think that's great, so let's click on customize this template to start working on it. Okay, so here is my template. I can see the different elements I can work on. And I think what's the most powerful thing in Canva is the elements library. So in Canva, instead of going and searching for what I need in order to add to my design, I have everything inside Canva. I don't need to go outside and search for stock footage or anything. I have everything here. So let's say I want to add an iced coffee for this design. So what I can do here in the elements library, I can search for iced coffee like this. And then I will see the different sections the Canva library has. So first one, graphics. I can see lots of different graphics related to coffee. It will be usually graphics without a background, and sometimes it also will be an SVGs, which are files that are vectors that I can change the colors of them, and sometimes it will just be a graphic and I will not be able to change colors to it. I can also see photos of iced coffees, videos, frames, mockups, audio, shapes, and charts. We will go over these later, but now let's go over these images. So I will see different images. Some are for pro users only and some are free to use. So let's just pick one that is free. Let's click on it, and then I will see it here in my design. So I can do a bunch of different things, and first, let me just remove the background. I know it's a pro feature, but I will put a link here on the screen for a free background remover. So if you don't want to pay for pro, you can also remove the background on other websites and bring the photo back here to your design. So let me just remove the background, and then I will see my image just here without a background. Let me make it a bit smaller like this. And let me show you what you can do with this image. So when the image is clicked, you will see this menu up here on top. And you can click on flip if you want to flip this image, right and left or up and down. You can do the flip on every element in Canva, not on text, but on images, graphics, and video. You can also, if for example, I flipped it like this, I can also go up here to undo, which is Command and Z or Control Z if you are on a PC, and undo this thing. And if I want to redo it anyway, I can click here on this arrow to redo it, or click on Command Shift and Z or Control Shift and Z if I want the keyboard shortcut. Let me just undo it. All right. And just so you know, the menu up here will be different if you click on different elements. So this is the menu if I click on an image. If I click on text, the menu will look different up here. And if, for example, I click on the background, it will be also different. So just so you know, this menu is changing depend on the element you click on. All right, so let me just add another page to this design, and let's add another image of, for example, this nice cold coffee milkshake. It looks pretty good actually. And you can also round the corners of images if you want. Just play with it like this. You can also add borders to your images, just a stroke, just around the image. You can choose if you want it to be a line or dashed lines, and you can control the weight of these lines however you like. You can change the color of this stroke. So let me just pick this color, and I can also change the color of the image. It doesn't work so good usually, but just so you see, I click on the image, go to color, and let me just click on this, and it will just take this color and change it to the new color I chose. Let me undo it just like that. And a nice thing you can do if you like an image and you want more images like this, you can right click on the image and then go to info down here. Here in info, you will see all the information about this image inside Canva. You will see the name, you will see the creator. If you click here, you will see the different things this creator uploaded to Canva. This time is not very related to the image actually, but sometimes if you want a lot of images that are in the same style, you can go to the creators library and find more of these collections. So just so you know it exists, you can see the information about the license of this image, if you can use it on commercial use or not. Let me click it again, info. You can see all the different keywords of this image. It's good because now I can learn which keywords led me to this image. So if I want more images like this, I can maybe search for whipped cream or caramel or sweet. I can click on show all keywords and see all the different keywords that can lead me to this kind of image. Of course, if you search for food, it won't let you see this image. It will show you different images of food, but just so you know, it's one of the keywords so you can get an idea of how to search similar images or images that you need. And you can add this image to a folder and star it if you want to add it to favorites and use it later. And you can click on see more like this to see more images that are pretty the same, pretty on the same line with the same object. As you can see, it's like cold drinks, and here is like food, but you know, it can help you find related images to this image. And sometimes on some of the elements, you can go and see their collection. So for example, if I have an element, a graphic that I want to see the entire collection of the same style, I can click on view collection and I will see a lot of different options. This specific one doesn't have it. Let me just try to search for one that has. Let's search for iced coffee again. Maybe in graphics it's usually works. Let's just click on this one, right click, info. This one doesn't have a collection as well. Let's try another one, maybe this one. These coffee beans info, no, doesn't have a collection as well. Okay, let's try this cold matcha drink info. No. Okay, so you will think I'm lying, but it is exist. I know it exists in 3D shapes. Let's just pick this shape, okay? For it's not related to my design, but just for the example, right click, info, and here I have a collection. So let me click on it and it will give me all the collection of this 3D shape, and you can see the code of this collection. So you can also save this code, and if you need more elements like this, you can search for this code and just see all the set. All right, so let's say I also want to upload my own images or videos to Canva so I can use them in my design. So to do that, you need to just simply drag and drop the images or here to the menu or on your design. Just drag and drop and it will load. You will see it load right here. You will see the image in your design, and if you don't, you will need to go to uploads and just to click on the image to add it to your design. All right, I will just delete one of them, and you can also sort your uploads into folders. So if I will click on the three dots right here, I can click on move and choose the folder I want to put this image in, and it will help me organize my uploads tab, because usually you just upload and you have a lot of mess around here, and if you want image or icon, again, you will need to just scroll endlessly until you will find what you need. But if you go to folders right here, you can see all your folders and you can organize your uploads into folders to have more organized uploads folders. So you will also see here that you can see the videos you've uploaded and the audio you've uploaded. So you have image, video, audio, and folders. All right, now let me just move this image to another page and let me show you what you can do with an image in Canva. So when you click on an image, you will see this edit button on top. I can click on it and then I will see similar options we saw in the photo editor from the homepage. If you remember, here in the photo editor, we had many options to edit an image. So you have the same options here inside your design. So you can adjust the image, adjust the colors, brightness, contrast, and all of that. You can really play with it. You can also change only part of the image. So if I will click here, I will be able to choose specific elements that I want to edit. So let me just pick these two pastel de nata and let me make them more like bright like this. Maybe reduce the contrast, play with the highlight like this. You can also choose the area by brush or choose if you want to edit the foreground or background of your image. Right back. And now you see that the pastel de natas are more bright and emphasized. So you can use the Magic Studio if you use a pro account. You can remove the background of the image. You can generate a new background if you want. You can erase a specific item in your image. You can grab a specific item from your image. You can grab text from your image if you have text in it, and you can edit specific things in your image or expand it if you want it to be bigger. For example, if I want the table to continue for the rest of the design canvas, I can click on Magic Expand and do it. But these are pro features, so I won't get into them right now. But just so you know, it's here and you can use them if you have a pro account. All right, you can apply filters to your image. You have many different filters here that you can work with. For example, if I want to make my image black and white, I can choose this filter and I can play with the filter's intensity if I would like to, right? Just bring it back to none, go back, and you also have different effects that you can use. You can add a shadow to the image, you can play with the colors of the image, you can add a blur effect. And if you have an object, you can play with the focus of the object and the background. And if you have a person in your image, you can do a face retouch, make the skin smoother and brighter. All right, and these are the Canva apps. It's basically integrations and third-party apps that gives Canva more power and more options. So I recommend you to use Canva apps. It can be very helpful. So we will talk about it at the end. All right, now let's talk about layers and position in Canva. So let me go back to the first image with all these elements and let me show you what I mean by layers and position. So in Canva and basically in most of the design platforms, you will have different layers. So this iced coffee is now above the cappuccino, and you can see it. If I move it, it will be above the cappuccino. But let's say I want it to be below the cappuccino. So what can I do? Right click on the cold coffee, go to layer and click on send backwards or send to back. So what are the differences between all of these? So send backward is to send one layer back, and send to back is send few layers until it will be behind this cappuccino, which is the element that will cover the iced coffee if I will send it to back. You can also see it if you click on position here on top and go to layers. Under all, you will see all of the layers you have in your design, all the different elements you've put in the canvas. So I will see the iced coffee here and I will see that it's above the cappuccino. So this is the reason I see it here on top. If I will move it below the cappuccino will be above the iced coffee. So let me just right click, go to layer and click on send to back. So it will send the cappuccino to be below all these elements. And let me just bring it here again. I can also move it just one layer down if I click on send backward. You see, nothing happened because this is not in the same place as the cappuccino, but it just moved one layer down. You can also do it with a keyboard shortcut. If you are on a Mac, it's Command and square brackets. The left bracket will send the item back and the right bracket will send the item up. So I use it a lot and it's really a major thing here if you design in Canva because The elements are sometimes above other elements or below other elements, and you will use this keyboard shortcut a lot. And now let's talk about positioning. So if you click on position here up top and you choose arrange instead of layers, this is where you can move elements up and down in the layers section, but you will see also this alignment section. So if you click only on one element, like I do right now, you will see that you can align it to the page. So if I want my element to be exactly at the center of the page, I can click here, and now it's in the exact center of the page. I can also put it exactly in the middle of the page, and now it's also in the center and in the middle of the page. You can play with these buttons. If you click only on one element, you can play with its position compared to the page. But what happens if you click on more than one element? So 2 elements or 3 elements, you will see that it changed to align elements and not align to page. So now when I click on these options, I will align the elements to each other. So let's try. Let's say I want all the elements to be aligned to the top. Maybe I will show you this example with the text here because it will be much better. So now all these text boxes are aligned to the left. You see, all of the text boxes touch the same line in the left side. So let's say I want to align them maybe to the middle. So if I click on middle, all the text boxes will be on the same line in the middle. That's obviously not what I want. So let's undo it. And maybe I will just move them around a little bit, and let's try to align them again. So I will just select all of these elements, go to position, and then I will click on left. And all the elements will be aligned to the same line in the left. Now I can also move it around like this, select all of these again, position. Now I can choose to space them evenly vertically. You see, the spaces between these elements are now even because I spaced them evenly vertically. Okay, now let's say you want to first align these 2 elements to make sure they are aligned to the left. Then you want to align these elements. And if I want to align these 2 elements to these 2 elements, what I will need to do is first group these 2 elements, group the other 2. You can group by clicking on Command and G on your keyboard, or just select 2 items and group or ungroup to reverse that. So ungroup, I will have 2 different text boxes. Group, it will be like one text box. And now if I click on this group, it's no longer 2 elements. It considered as one group. So I will see align to page. It's like I selected only one element. And now I will choose these 2 groups, and now it considered as 2 elements. And then I can play with the alignment. So if you have few groups of elements that you want to align, first align each group to itself, group it together, and then align these 2 groups to organize the items as you like. So put it closer and put it like this. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about frames. Frames in Canva let you put images or videos into shapes or cut out masks. You can find them in the Elements tab. Scroll down until you see the Frames section. I will click on See All, and then you will see lots of frame options you can choose from. You have many topics you can search in devices, for example. You can see. And basically, they act like image placeholders. So you can drag a photo or video into the frame. Let me show you. I will just add this browser frame. Let's take it to another page so you can see. And now I can just take this image, bring it to the other image, to the other page, and then I will hold this image above the frame, and automatically the image will be snapped into the frame. Now you can double click on it and resize, crop, or adjust how the image sits inside the frame. So I can make it bigger and move it around and decide how I want it to be inside the frame. Then I can click anywhere on the screen or here at the done, and this frame will be saved with the image inside. And if you want to change the image, you can either just snap another image to it. Let me just bring another image, just a random one. Maybe let's do a video this time. I will click on see all. Let's just add this. Then I will hover the frame and it will be snapped into this frame, and then I will see the video inside. So I can just drop another thing and it will change the previous one, or I can also right click on the frame and choose detach video or detach image, depends on what I've put inside, and then I will see it just outside the frame and the frame will be empty. So when you see this little wallpaper of this cloud and mountain, it means that it's a frame and you can drop images or videos inside. Just delete this video and let's go back and let's do another example, maybe of something related to coffee. Let's search in elements, search coffee, and then I will see that I have also the frame section here when I look for a specific keyword. So some keywords will also find you frames at the same shape or related items to what you searched. So let's just pick this coffee bean, and then I can place it around whatever, like it can be anywhere, just for the example. And then I can drop anything I want inside. Let's go to images. I will pick this one and then I will just put it here inside the coffee bean. Just put it down in the layers section, okay? And these are frames. I can also, by the way, just click delete in my keyboard to just remove the image from the frame, another delete, and it will also delete the frame. All right, and another thing I want to show you is the option to switch the positions of two items. Let me show you what I mean. So if I select, let's ungroup these two just for this example, I will just select these two text boxes at the same time, and then I will see this little circle inside the text boxes. So I can just drag from this little circle and switch the position of these two text boxes. So instead of move this one and put this one here and then place this one again, I can just do it very, very quickly by selecting two or more elements, and then I will see this little circle. I can also select 3 elements and I will still see this circle. I can also replace this thing with this text box like this. So use it if you want to save time and switch positions of elements quickly when you design. All right, so now let's talk about text in Canva. So as you already saw, text is inside text boxes. And now if I want to make the text bigger, I can also use this bar on top and use the plus and minus buttons to make the text bigger or smaller. But I can also just drag the corners of the text box to play with the size of the text. If I drag these 2 lines on the right and left, I will set the size of the text box, not the text size. So let's say I want it to be more narrow. I can decide that it will be like this and then just make the text smaller so it will fit the text box. So with the text box itself, you determine where the text will be in your design, and here or with the corners, you can play with the size of the text. Okay, so to create a new text box, you can go to the left sidebar and click here on the text tab. Here on top, you will see a button says add a text box, and just click on it and you will see a new text box in your design. Let's just bring it like here maybe, and then you can type whatever you want. So let's say I want to say come visit us. And now let's just make the text box a little bit bigger. So now the edge of this text box is on the same line as the rest of the text, but the text is aligned to the center. If I want it to start from left to right, the same as these text boxes, I will need to click on alignment here on top, and then the text will start from left in the text box. And now I can be sure all these text boxes are aligned to the same line. Now I can just change the color of the text by going here. I can choose whatever I want. Let's pick this one. Sometimes if you click on it and the text is not changing, you should select all the text inside and then choose the color you want. Maybe let me make it bold so it will be more visible, and I can also change the font if I want. Just click here on top and you will see a list of fonts. You can browse through the fonts here or just search for a specific one if you want, or you can also filter the fonts list with these categories here. You have more categories if you scroll just like this, and I can filter the fonts by, for example, bold. I want to see only bold fonts. Then I will see these options. If you see this little arrow, it means you have more weights of this font that you can choose from. Let me just click on this, just for example. And let me just come back and show you that you also have filters here. If you want to filter the fonts by language, if you are not designing in English and you want specific language in the fonts, so you can just filter the list by language, and you can also filter the list by price if it's free or pro font, right? And you can also apply effects to your text in Canva. So after you click on the text box you want, just go to effects up here, and then you will have these effects to choose from. Each one has different settings inside. For example, shadow, you can play with the offset. Let me just zoom in so you will see. You can just play with the direction of the shadow. You can make it blurry if you want, make it more transparent or less, and also obviously change color to whatever you need. Let me just make it black. And if you want to bring it back to regular, just click on none and it will become just a regular text without an effect. You can also make your text curved if you like, just like that, and then just play with the curve like this. Depend on what you need, just like that. And maybe I will just take it up here and I will make it bigger. And last thing here in text, but actually it can help you in any element in Canva, is the option to copy style. So if I want to change also this text to be at the same color and same size and with the effect I applied, so you can click on the text with the design you want, click on copy style, and then click on the text you want to change. And then you see it's curved with the color and everything. Let me just bring it back because it's obviously not for this text. But just so you know, you can do it with anything. So if I applied some effects on this image, I can copy the style and just paste the style on another image and save time. All right, now let's talk about colors in Canva. So to show you a few examples and how you can work with colors, let me add just a rectangle to this design. I will click on R on my keyboard. You can also add a circle by clicking on the C key in your keyboard, or you can go to the elements section and see the shapes category. Just click on see all and you will see lots of different shapes you can add to your design. All right, so I will delete this circle and let's work with this rectangle. You can change the color of the rectangle. You can use one of the colors you use in your design or one of the colors Canva detects from the images you have. So I have lots of images here and I can see all the colors that are from these images to choose from. Let's just change to this color, for example. And you can also add another color, a new one, to your color palette. Just click on the plus and you can play with this slide, pick a color, and you can also pick a color from your design. So let's say I want to pick one of the colors from the images. I can click on pick a color and just pick one from the cappuccino, for example, and I will have this color here. And you can also add a gradient. So if you want this rectangle to have two colors or three or four, you can add it here in gradient. Just pick the colors you want. Let me maybe pick this green and make it brighter like this. And then I will have this gradient. I can change the style of the gradient. Maybe I want it to look like this or like this. Just pick one. And obviously I can add another color and like many colors as I want. Just maybe this, or I don't know, just change it, be this greenish. You can move them around if you want, just play with them. And you can also delete the color if you don't want it anymore. Just like that. All right, let me show you a cool thing you can do with shapes and gradients. So let's say I want this design to have an image as a background instead of a color. Obviously, I can also change the background. If I click on it, I can click on the background color and change it also to be a gradient if I want. So just so you know, also backgrounds, colors can be gradients. But let's say I want an image as a background. Let's search for a coffee shop, just like this. And let's just pick one image. Let's say this image. Okay, I will just right click on it and choose replace background. So obviously now I cannot see any of my text because I have an image as a background. So here comes this shape with the gradient. I will just take it, just cut and paste here. Then I will stretch it across the page. I will go to position, layers, and move it beneath all the elements and above the image that is the background. And now let's change the color of this rectangle. I will hit the plus to add a new color. I will make sure I'm in the gradient mode, and then I will change these two colors to be the same color. It can be any color you want, but change it to be the same color. And pick one of the colors and just set the opacity of this color to be 0. And you see, I have this kind of gradient without an opacity. And now I can just play with the shape of the gradient. Maybe I will put it like this. Maybe I will just rotate it just to change the white place to be down here. I can also stretch it a bit more to have more of the white color, or maybe like this. And I just added this to make the text more emphasized. And let me show you how it will look without it. So let me delete it. And yeah, you cannot read the text, obviously. So you can add these gradients in your shapes. I can obviously do it also in other colors. Let me just try to pick, for example, this one. And this one will be also this brown color. And you see, then I have this style. And maybe because the text is black, maybe I will need something brighter. So let me just make it brighter like this. Then I will pick also the same color. And now it looks much better with an image at the background, and this gradient makes the text look more emphasized and readable. All right, now let's say you have a design and you're not sure which colors to use. You need a little bit of help to build a color palette for your design. So you can go to design up here and change from templates to styles. And here you will have different color palettes you can use in your design. You can choose combinations. It also will change your text fonts, and if you want you can also use only color palettes. So I love the fonts in my design, so let's just click on see all in color palettes and I will see different color palettes I can use. Let's say I love this brownish color palette. I can just click on it and it will immediately change all the colors in my design in one click. And I can click it another time. It's a shuffle. So as long as I click it, it will change the colors a little bit. As you can see now, the background is darker and the text is white. It's actually pretty cute. I can duplicate the page by clicking here on duplicate page, and now continue shuffle the colors on this option until I like the result. All right, let me show you another example also with the text. So let's say I will choose combinations and let's choose this one. And you see it also changed the fonts of my text like this. And I can click until I love the look. All right. So you can shuffle the colors in your design in another way. You can also right click on one of the images in your design and then click on apply colors to page. So it does the same thing as these colors, but now it will take the colors from the image and it will shuffle the colors in your elements in your design. So let me click on it and you see it changed the colors, not too much. Let's try again. All right. And let's make a test with this. Let me right click on it and apply colors to page. Let's try again. It's also shuffle. You can do it how many times you want until you like the result. So if you have an image and you want to change the colors in your canvas according to that image, you can right click on it and choose apply colors to page and click as many times as you need until you like the colors. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the Canvas interface, how you work with pages, and then I will show you how you can download your designs to your computer. All right, so now in the first mode that you can see here in Canva, where the pages are one after one and you need to scroll down to see more pages. You can add a new page by clicking here or here, just like that. You can delete a page by clicking here and duplicate a page like this. You can lock the page and you can hide the page if you like. And you can also, let me just add another page. You can also play with these arrows to move the page up and down. So like that. And now this page will be the third and then this will be the fourth. All right. Let me just delete the empty page. You can also add another design type to your design file in Canva. So if you click on this little arrow, you will have this list of different design types you can add. So now I'm working on an Instagram story design type, but let's say I want to add also a presentation page. So I will click on that, and then I will have a new page of a presentation ratio. And I can also add different design types to this design file. If I want to add kind of a sheet page or a whiteboard, I can do that and add to this existing design file, right? I will delete it. And you can also see the pages in a grid view. If you go down here, click on grid view, you will see the pages here. You can move them around if you want. You can also from here delete or duplicate the page if you need to. You can also add a new page from here and a new page, which is a different type of design, also from here. All right. Now let's see the other type of interface you can work with. If I click down here on pages, and then I will see the page's thumbnail. So just so you know, you can click on duration, and then you will see this is the default preview. You will see the pages as thumbnails down here, and you can move through the pages. You can click on these three dots to duplicate, delete, or add new page. And if you click on duration again, you will see these pages as a sequence. So here you can also edit video. You can add animations to your design. You can add transitions between the pages and then download the whole sequence as an MP4 and use it as a video. I will show you that later in this video, how to work with animations and how to edit videos in Canva. All right. And you can always click on the preview down here to see your design in a full page and just all the animation and the video you created here inside. All right. Now I will go to share up here, and here I can share my design with other people. If I have the email address of their Canva user, I can enter it here and invite them to edit the design or view it with me. I can also create a link. If I click here, the default mode will be only you can access, but you can change it to anyone with the link and then decide if you want to give them access to edit, comment, or just view the design. Then you will need just to copy the link and send it, and then other people can view or edit the design with you. All right, now if I want to download the design pages to my computer, I can click on download. And then the first thing I will need to do is to choose the file type I want to download the design as. So I can download as JPG and PNG. If I choose PNG, I can also set the background as transparent background, but this is a pro feature, so you will need a pro account to download a PNG with a transparent background. I can choose to download as a PDF, as an SVG, which is also a pro feature. You can download as an MP4 file, as a video. You can play with the quality, and you can choose which pages you want to include in the video. You can also download the whole pages and decide to download pages as separate files. So for example, page 1 will be a file, page 2 will be a file, and page 3 will be a file as 3 separated files. If you don't tick this checkbox, you will just have one file with all the pages in it. All right, you can also download as GIF, and if you do it, you can also choose that you will download as separate files and transparent background, but these two are also pro features, so just so you know. And last option is as a PowerPoint presentation file. And once you choose all the settings here and you're ready, just click on download and you will download the files to your computer. You can also tick this box if you want to save download settings, And then when you will just open the share and download, you will have the same settings already there for you, so you won't need to do everything all over again. All right, and last thing in this topic, you can also download specific items and elements and parts of your design and not the whole page. So let's say I want to download only these two elements from my design. I need to choose more than one element, so 2 plus, and then right click when I select both of them, and then I will see the option to download selection. So if I click on it, I will have the settings as usual, but this time I will download only these two elements to my computer and not the whole page. Then I can change to whatever I need, let's say a PNG with a transparent background. And then when I hit download, I will have these two elements together as one file with transparent background. So I use it a lot when I edit videos to YouTube. I use Canva to design a lot of things to the videos. And then if I need to just export it to bring to the editing platform, I can just download specific things I've created here and just use it in other platform as I need. So you can use it if you need to take things out of Canva and use them somewhere else. All right, now let's talk about animations in Canva. I will start by showing you how to apply and remove animations to your elements in the design. So let's start with this image. When you click on one of the elements or two or more, you will be able to go and click on animate up here and see a list of animations you can add to this element. Let's just hover one of them and then you will see an example of this animation in your design. So you have many options here you can choose from, and you can also choose to animate the whole page. If you switch from photo to page, you will see different animations that are combinations of different animations to apply at once to all the elements in the page. So let's say party. So you see all the elements are now animated. Simple. Or you can also just do rise or pen and just animate the whole page at once. But let me go back to photo. I can choose one of the animations and then I will have specific settings in each animation. I can choose if I want the animation to be both on enter and exit or just one of them. If I have a pro account, I can also control the speed of the animation and the direction of the animation. This is a pen, so I can decide if the pen will be to the right or to the left, like this. If you want to remove the animation you've added, just click on remove animation and this item will no longer be animated. All right, you can also apply animation to text. Let me just click on this text box. Then I will go to animate and then you will see different animation options here for text. So let's say I will hit on skate or roll. And here you have different settings. So let's say I'm going with typewrite. I can choose if I want it to be on character or word. You see, it's different. So browse through the animations here and choose the one you like the most. And just so you know, at the end of this list, you will have add-on effects, which are animations that are like effects. So it's not just on enter or on exit. It will be during the whole time. So rotate. I will have my text just rotate, flicker, or maybe wiggle. I will click on wiggle and then I can adjust the intensity of the wiggling. All right, I can click on remove animation just to remove it. All right, another option you have here is to create an animation. You can create your own animations in Canva by clicking here. So let's say I will pick this iced coffee again. Then I will click on create an animation, and then I will need to drag the element around the canvas to create my animation. So let me just show you an example. So let's say I want the iced coffee to do like this. And then I will see the animation path I just created. I can choose the movement styles. I can make it smooth, or I can choose steady. I can control the speed also here, and I can add an effect if I want. Also can control the intensity. And then I can choose to click on done to save it or delete the path and start over. Let's just delete it so I can show you another thing. You can also control the speed when you move the animation, when you draw the path, and you can also hold shift in your keyboard so the path will be straight. So let's say I'm holding the shift key, and then I can just draw this, see, just straight line. Let's just cancel this wiggle, and let's see. So if you want to draw straight lines, just hold the shift in your keyboard. Don't forget that the speed of you moving while you draw the path will also control the animation. Just like that. All right. And one last thing about adding animations, you can also add animations to group of items. So let me just choose these three. I can group them, and then I will need to go to position, choose this group and go to animate. And then the animation will be on the entire group. I can choose to animate just each element by itself. You see, I animate the whole elements, but each element as it is just get an animation, or just to animate the entire group together as a whole, just like that. All right, now let's say I want to edit a design as a video and not just add random animations to my design. So make sure you are on the thumbnail interface. I will just click here on pages. I will see the pages thumbnail, and then I will click on duration to see the sequence. And then I can start edit things as a video and not just as an image. So let's say I will add, let's just ungroup this, and I will add animations to these elements. Let's just randomly just pick animation just so I can show you examples. All right, and let's do blur. Okay. So now when I click on the animation, I will see the duration of it right here. So I can play with the duration. Let me just zoom in. To zoom in the sequence, just click here. And instead of zoom page, you will have zoom thumbnails, and you can zoom in and see it more clearly. Then I can control when the element will appear on my canvas. So let's just play. And you see, it just started from here. I can click on other elements. Now let's click on this, and I can also control when it will enter. Just like that. All right, you can also control the duration of the page. Now it's 5 seconds. I can also play with the edges of this clip to just move it around and make it more longer or shorter. And I can also click up here. When I choose this page in the sequence, I will see the duration of it right here, and I can also set it to how long I want. So let's say 10 seconds. I can choose to apply this to all pages if I want. And if you want, you can also cut this in the middle. So if I'm standing with the cursor here, I can click on S on my keyboard, and it will divide it into 2 pages. So just so you know, you can do that. And you can also hover between the pages and click on Add Transition. And you will be able to add a transition between the pages. So let's say flow. It's pretty nice. I can also control the settings here, the duration and the direction, just like that. I can choose slide or line wipe, but it's the same page, so I won't see it. That's okay. And maybe let's just change the order of the pages so you will see just like this. Or slide. All right. You can also add audio to your video here in Canva. If you are here on the sequence, scroll down a little bit and you will see the add audio button. You can also just stretch the sequence to be more up, so you will have more space here to work. Then I will click on add audio and I will be sent to the audio library of Canva. Let me show you how you can get there without clicking on add audio. You can click here on elements and just scroll down until you see videos or audio. So audio is what I need, see all. I can record voiceover if I want here inside Canva or generate an AI voice to my video. Or I can use one of the songs or sound effect Canva has, or just search for a specific one I need. So let's say I want to add jazz music. So let's just type in jazz and I will have different options of jazz music. I can hear a sample of it if I click here, or I can just drag and drop it into my timeline just like that. And I will have this song in my design that I can play with it. And by the way, if you don't see the element timing here, you maybe should just right click on the element and you will have the option to hide or show element timing. So let's just hide it for a second. You see now I click on the item and I don't see it here in the sequence. So I will just right click and show element timing. And then I will see the elements here in my sequence. All right, so that was a brief about how to edit videos in Canva and how to use animations. You can obviously start with templates. If you need, just search for example, promo video, and you will get different templates that are already animated that you can use and have inspiration from if you need some inspiration on how you will animate your design. So just so you know, you can start from a template and not from scratch. And I have a video that focuses only on editing videos in Canva. So I will link that in the description as well, so you can watch it if you want to learn more about editing videos in Canva. All right, congratulations, you've reached the last chapter of this video, and the last one will be about Canva apps. So Canva apps are extra tools and integrations inside Canva that you can use. I mentioned them during this video, and now let me show you what are they and how to use them. So on every design, you will see on the left panel the option to see the Canva apps. You click on it and then you can see the top picks for you. So these are a few Canva apps that Canva decided to highlight for you. You can see trending Canva apps and you can see more apps from Canva. You can basically just search for whatever you need. So let's say I want a Canva app that will help me with text. I will just write text and then I will see a lot of Canva apps that can help me with different things related to text. Let's say I will just pick a random one, just font frame for example, and font frame lets me add images inside the text. So each app has its own settings and some apps are free and some required pro account to use them. I have a lot of videos about different Canva apps, so I recommend just go into my channel and look for the playlist of all the Canva apps video and explore different apps to use in Canva. You have another way to see Canva apps from the Canva homepage. You will need to go to apps here from the homepage, and then you will see the full library of Canva apps. You have so many options here. You have apps for images to adjust images perspective or add texture to images, change colors to images, a lot of different options. What's special here is that you can click on one of the apps and then you will have an explanation, a description about what it does and what you can do with it. And then you can just click on using existing design to open a design and use this app, or just create a new one and then use the app on a blank new page. Let me show you just one app. For example, let me just go back to my design, and let's say I want to generate a QR of the menu, for example, of this coffee shop. And I want to create it inside Canva so I can add it to my design. So let's search for QR here in the app search, and I will choose this app Gen QR, which I know and use usually. All right. Then I will have this app right here. I will be able to add the link to the menu or to whatever I want to send the people who will scan the QR. And I can choose a template of a QR. I can change the margins. I can play with the background, pattern, corners. I can really modify how this QR will look. I can also add a logo to be in the middle of this QR. If I want to put my business logo or an image, I can do it. Then I can also choose a file type to export this QR, and I can add it to my design or save it to my uploads and use it later. So this is just one example of Canva apps you have here. You have so many options of different things you can do in this Canva app library. Let's just try to click on this one. Here is a 3D maker. You can turn designs into 3D images. That's an example of one app. So I recommend you to search for videos about Canva app or go into my channel and watch the Canva app playlist to learn more, because you have so many options here in the Canva apps library that can really help you design better and have more options inside Canva. So yeah, please use them and explore as much as you can. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you enjoyed the most. And if you have any question, drop them below and I'll make sure to answer and maybe cover them on the next video in the future. So thank you so much again. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.